How's it hanging, everyone? Andrew from IDB here. Now, I have tested a lot of Bluetooth speakers. A lot. Not just Bluetooth speakers, but Wi-Fi speakers and everything in between. But not much like the massive Fluance Fi70. This is a hi-fi speaker that is definitely on the large size, but has pretty much any input that you would want, other than Wi-Fi. I'll let you know right at the beginning, this thing sounds amazing, but you have to get over the pretty large footprint to make it worth it. Let's go ahead and dig into exactly what the Fluance Fi70 is and what it can do. For starters, this thing weighs just around 100 pounds, at least in the box. When you separate everything out, the speaker itself comes in around 80, which is still quite a bit hefty. Can be a pain to get delivered unless you have the UPS man wheel it into your house. Size-wise, it's about 30 inches across, 23 inches tall, and about 12 inches deep. Aside from the speaker, you get a stand, so it doesn't have to be laying down, and then a bunch of other accessories like power cables, remotes, batteries, and an antenna for tuning into the radio. The remote is pretty nice. I like a lot of the basic features on it, and it is always nice when they include a few batteries right in the box. You don't have to worry about providing them, but it does run on just a pair of AAAs. It has all the basic functions that you'd expect, turning it on and off, adjusting the volume, getting into settings, inputs, all of that stuff, but it also has inputs for the treble and the bass. Those are probably my two favorite, because I kind of adjust those quite a bit depending what I'm doing. Whether I'm watching a video, maybe I want to turn the bass down a little bit, or if I'm listening to music and want to crank that bass up. On the top of the massive cabinet are more physical controls, though they are touch sensitive, so there's not anything here you actually have to press down. It's literally just touching these little buttons on top, like power, input, settings, and controlling media and volume. The front of this is covered in a giant screen, but if you don't like that black look, that can simply come off. It's held up there magnetically, and you can just slide this behind your couch and hope your girlfriend forgets that it's there and you don't have to try to find somewhere to put it. And then of course you'll see all of the different woofers and tweeters that it has going on. It's got dual 5-inch woven fiberglass mids, it's got two 1-inch silk dome tweeters, and of course those two 8-inch subs down the bottom. On the back you have the actual input you can use for the cord as well as your different audio options. It still has a manual power button, so even though you can turn it on and off with the remote with the button on top, there still is a physical switch around back that you can go ahead and flip if you want to put it into more or less just completely off mode. As far as inputs, you have auxiliaries, so kind of a standard headphone jack. You have optical if you want to hook it into your surround sound system or your TV. You have radio inputs, and then at the bottom here, this is pretty awesome, it actually has a USB 2.1 amp output, so you can charge your device, whether it's your iPhone, your iPad, route it up to the top, set your iPhone there. You can power itself all day while you're listening to music. I love that they put in that USB port. It's a small thing. It is a little bit oddly placed, being super there towards the bottom. So I mean, depending on where you have, if you have this on its own stand, you kind of have to set your phone on top or somewhere else. So just a little bit weird of a placement to kind of route your cables through. Just depends on the length and the setup in your home. Now this does have Bluetooth, so you're not limited to actually having to plug things in. Very few hi-fi speakers have Bluetooth, and it works really easily. Simply connect it to your Bluetooth like every other device, and you can control the volume, you can control the playback. It works just as you'd expect. I had no drop-offs or anything like that. And if you're an Android device who has aptX built in, which is Qualcomm's super awesome lossless audio thing for Bluetooth, that works here with the Fluance Fi70, so you'll get even better audio quality. I can handedly say that the sound quality on this thing is awesome, and it gets super loud. With 280 watt amplifier built in, this thing will just crank out the audio. When I tested it plugged into my TV, it sounded amazing and pretty much as good as several of the other surround sound systems that I actually had going on in my home. Like I mentioned before, I like being able to use the remote to adjust the treble and the bass, not having to actually go to the speaker and adjust those things. I mean, when I'm watching a movie, I kind of want to turn it down because explosions can really shake the wall. But when I'm listening to music, I don't mind moving that bass up just a little bit. While I will say the bass was definitely impressive, the mids and the highs weren't anything too crazy. I felt I was missing the highs just a little bit in some songs, but it wasn't anything terrible. This is still a hi-fi speaker, and it pretty much blows any other Bluetooth speaker out of the water. I could not recommend this thing enough if you can get over the size. It is a large, imposing speaker, and it's a little bit difficult to place easily in your room as the main source of audio for your TV. But if you have space for it, this is definitely a great piece of gear to pick up. You can find the link for it down below in the description, and I definitely want to hear your comments. down in the comments. Till next time, this is Andrew for IDB.